Hey everyone, it's Jeff Trapp here with the Tax Planning Pros and the Jeff Trapp podcast. I am so glad that you've decided to join me today. And we've got a jam-packed episode. I am super excited for what we're going to be talking about today in the world of tax and just, in the world in general. We're living in this world where we're all spread out, but we can all come together via AI, social media, and all of those things. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So if you're waiting until next tax season to think about your taxes, you're probably overpaying, right? Not maybe, not sometimes, every single year. And that compounds, right? And most people don't even realize how much money they're leaving on the table every single year. So today I want to break down why that's happening to you, how AI and social media are changing the game, and where people are getting completely misled. Now, let me give you a way to think about this. A tax strategist, not a tax preparer, a strategist is a lot like a doctor. If you go to a doctor with a headache, you don't walk in and say, hey, I saw something on TikTok, just give me this prescription. That would be insane, right? Because that headache could be something minor. It could be something serious like a brain tumor or something that requires testing or a specialist. A good doctor is going to diagnose the problem, run the right tests, and then prescribe the right solution. Tax strategy works the exact same way. Just because you hear a strategy online or from your friend or your broke brother-in-law doesn't mean it applies to you. It doesn't mean it's structured correctly, or even if it's being explained properly. You shouldn't be diagnosing your taxes from TikTok, social media, AI, your broke brother-in-law, etc. So here's the biggest mistake I see. People treat taxes like an event. You go to your CPA in March or April, hand over your numbers and say, hey, what do I owe? But by then, the game is already over. That's not tax planning. That's tax reporting for compliance purposes. Tax planning happens in the prior year, during the year, when decisions are still being made. Because once the year ends, most of your opportunities are gone. So let me show you a real life story of one of our clients and what tax planning and being proactive actually looks like. So we had a business owner come to us early last year, and he knew it was going to be a massive year. His business was going to have a phenomenal year. They were going to break all sorts of records. So he ended up doing about $6 million in revenue in his business, which is great, but you're taxed on your profit, which was about $3 million of taxable income. Now, if he does what most people do and waits till March or April and goes to his accountant, he's looking at a $1 million tax bill. Oh my gosh, $1 million. You're giving away a third of your earnings to the government. That's the default outcome. But instead, we planned. We worked with them throughout the year. We structured things correctly, implemented strategies early, and adjusted along the way. And his final tax bill was less than $20,000. Let that sink in. From $1 million to under $20,000, that's unheard of. Same income, different strategy. Now, here's where things really get interesting, because AI and social media are everywhere right now when it comes to tax strategies and implementation, right? You've got TikTok, YouTube, ChatGPT, Instagram, True Social, like all the things. And look, some of it's great stuff. But here's the truth. Most of it's only about 70 to 75% accurate. And that's last 25%. That's where people really get burned, because tax strategy isn't just what strategy should I use? It's when do I implement it? How do I structure it? Does it apply to my situation? And am I doing it correctly to be able to get the tax deduction? So let me give you a really quick example of one of my clients. So I had a client send me a tax strategy on TikTok, and I probably get 3 or 4 of these a week. And on the surface, that strategy sounded really great. It talked about saving taxes. protecting your assets, shielding your income from the IRS, all the buzzwords and the hashtags and all the things. It was there. But when I really dug into it, and it's not that hard to dig into it, right? The person giving the advice wasn't even a tax attorney, wasn't even a real attorney, wasn't even a CPA. I don't even know if he even lived in the United States of America. That's how crazy this was. He was not qualified to give that advice at all. And that's the problem right now. Information is everywhere, but credibility is not, right? Everybody's creating that headline, so you'll just click on it, that clickbait, right? And this ties directly into AI. Here's the simplest way to think about it. AI hasn't even passed the CPA exam. And more importantly, AI is still about 3 to 7 years away from being able to prepare a complete and accurate tax return for high income individuals and businesses. Now, yes, AI is improving every single day, 24/7. But you know what it's really great for? Organizing data, assisting with your preparation, identifying ideas. But here's what AI and most people miss. Even as AI improves, you still need a strategist, because coming up with a strategy is one thing, making sure it's implemented and reported correctly so you actually get the deduction is a completely different game. What if you did all that work and then you couldn't get the tax deduction, or you got audited, right? So this is where real tax planning separates itself. You need someone who understands the tax code, know what strategy actually exist, know which ones apply to you, because not every strategy is going to apply to you. There are so many tax strategies out there. And then we make sure everything is executed properly, because right now, ideas are everywhere. Execution is rare, and execution is what saves you money. So let me ask you a question. If someone can legally go from a $1 million tax bill to under $20,000, what are you personally overpaying right now? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000? Is it $1 million? Most people don't even know, because they've never actually planned. And here's the reality. The longer you wait, the more you lock in overpaying. Every month that goes by, you lose options. And that money just keeps getting sucked out and sucked out, right? So here's the shift. Stop asking, what do I owe? And let's start asking an even better question. What can I still do right now to reduce what I'll owe? That's the question that actually makes you money. If you haven't done proactive tax planning yet this year or ever, now is the time. Not later, not in December, not during tax season, right now. And if you're consuming content online, that's great. Use it to learn, use it to get ideas, use it to ask better questions, but don't rely on it to execute for you, because information doesn't save you money. Strategy plus execution does. So I really appreciate you tuning in today to the Jeff Trapp podcast. If this hit for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because a lot of people are overpaying simply because they're waiting too long. They don't have the answers. They don't know who to turn to, and they might be able to get helped out and save some money on taxes. I'll catch you on the next episode, and I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy your spring. Have a great one. Bye-bye.